There are 4 parts of A Different Season by Stephen King. Hope springs eternal, which is Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, which was directed, Shawshank was directed by Frank Darabont, who I worked with. I'm watching Gods and Monsters, 1998. The second one is known as Summer, and that's Apt Pupil. I'm going to get it one day. The third one is Fall from Innocence, which is The Body. That's the one Rob Reiner directed with River Phoenix, Will Wheat, Corey Feldman, and the fat guy from Sliders. After you fall from Innocence, you go into Winter's Tale, which is the breathing method. They haven't turned that into a movie, but I want to. We're going to look at the Summer. That's the tough one. That's the Gods and Monster guy known as Sir Ian McKellen is in that. With another guy, I think the other guy is Renfro. I'm guessing, though. There are 4 parts of A Different Season, Stephen King. First is Hope Springs Eternal, which is Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, directed by Frank Darabont. Shawshank Redemption was. He also directed Me and The Majestic. The second one is Summer of Corruption, which has a guy named Sir Ian McKellen in it, who I met at the Actor Studio. Drama school at the New School University between 2001 and 2002. It's the second part of the story. After Summer, we go into Fall from Innocence, The Body, directed by Rob Reiner, and Rob Reiner changed the title to Stand By Me. Starred River Phoenix, Will Wheatley, Corey Feldman, and the fat guy from Sliders that later lost the weight. And in the story, the fat A, as they call him, as an ASS, he ends up having like 10 kids. Now, after Fall from Innocence and The Body, we move into Winter's Tale, a breathing method, or the breathing method, which I'm going to turn into a movie because I think it's real cool, and I like the word method. It's about a woman that gets her head cut off, and she watches herself give birth to a baby, and she coaches herself from the side of the road. Her head flies on the side of the road, and she coaches herself as her body gives birth to her child, which lives. I'm going to direct that when I become the greatest film director in Hollywood since John Ford. Now go to bed.
All right. 1 hour and 47 minutes and 72 of a second. So basically 1 hour and 47 minutes was my hiking route for today. I don't know the temperature. If it is Saturday, we're gonna check the steps. All right, so first let me get some water before I check the steps. And we'll talk about the steps because I also do 2 miles, up to a mile, 2 miles in just delivery only. And that was a 5.1 mile. We'll find out in a minute. Let me get a better swig on that. All right, so first what we're gonna do is check the time. So today we ran 1 hour and 47 minutes. And I know those are seconds, but that's like 72 something of a second. So it's pretty much like a second. It's like 100th of a second or something of that nature. All right. So we're gonna start with Sunday, which was May 21st. For the hike, we did 13,000 steps, 298. We went walking time or running time, which is basically hiking, a little bit of both, about 5.5 miles. I usually try to get at least a runner stance or like an elliptical stance, like hiking stance. The next day, we did 13,255 steps and went a total of 5.5 miles on the hike. We took Tuesday and Wednesday off for the, I believe you call it the ACL, which is my knee. And then we regained on Thursday 13,238 steps and went a total of 5.7 miles. Friday, we went 13,458 steps, which is yesterday, a total of 5.8 miles. I increased the hiking by almost a mile. And today, we went 13,726 steps and 5.5 miles. So we might increase that to 6 miles maybe. We'll have to see. $177,969 miles. We're at 86 Fahrenheit. It is May 27, 2023. Welcome to the Please Subscribe Show with your host, moi, Cole Spivey. First, we're gonna stop off for a little dinner at a place called Jason's Deli, where we get a salad bar. Stop and get a little gas first. They're all the way from Florida. Sunshine State. some of this too, but you get some protein on it. Oh, 10:30, 10:32 or something. I found out 10:32 is Man with a Gun. I thought it was Drowning. I'll have to look up a Drowning. And we use that one. And the whole police scanner thing. All right, that should be good. All right. So we start off with understanding the yolking, which is very important. This is a grape. We want to make sure we get the yolk out. I use one of these, which is basically like a plate. Here it is right here. There we go. Now remember, Generation X, they don't care. Generation Y, they don't care, or any other generation, but the boomer generation gets real mad when this goes into my mouth very, very fast. Watch. No, I was joking. This is hummus right here. It's pretty good. And these are one of my favorites right here. It's like a little muffin thing. Very good. This is great too. And don't forget, an olive. I haven't heard of the song, it's not going to copyright. What is it? So the manager was rude to me. And I did have the police called on me at the Louisville location where they criminally trespassed me. And that was for doing this right here. This is de-yolking the eggs right here. Make sure that's out. So, it was very rude to me. But it's a very political thing to de-yolk eggs because what I'm saying is that there will be no fat in my life. And they don't like that. So you got upset with me. Very rude manager. Right? That's a grape. There's my salad. Right? God bless. We'll see you in a minute. All right, so police code 1055 is intoxicated driver. So 1055, just like I can't drive 55, 1055 means intoxicated driver. Hoonigan. They're all the way from Missouri. Okay, there is the Hilton Garden Inn. They put a bunch of flags before the actual sign that they use. So it's kind of hard to see at this angle. See if you can see it here. There we go. Hilton Garden Inn. And it's a nice one. They actually have a real fireplace and a pretty good television, and the staff is super nice. Like they're just like, they don't even care. You know, they're that nice. No problems at all. Just very rarely do you get that service, very rarely. But so far, I'm putting them down for 10 stars, just wonderful. I'm gonna go inside and kind of show you around a little bit. These are really cool kind of artsy stuff. Then they do like, basically like water and tea. So you just, you know, sweet tea too. And then they've got this, we can hold up to 151. So you can have 151, like a party of 151. They also have a bar, which I might get a Aquavelle over there sometime just to pay them back. But look at this right here. There's their bar. And this whole entire area is 151 people. Now, if you go on the other side, there's another fireplace. It's 56. 56 people here. It's a total of 207. So a room of 207. And super, super fast internet. So far, I have not been on the computer that was so fast. Their internet is super fast. I used it earlier to make that post about Linda in the ER. And or to try to correct it. I can do it through this PC right here. If I have any problems with the phone, I can get through all right here. You got one of these. Really nice. And they give out complimentary water. Straight up sweet tea. I haven't got into the Dark Tower, but you know what? I think I'm gonna peek in it. I'm gonna peek in it while I wait. It's a pretty good one. Some say the Dark Tower series is his best. All right, this is gonna be called probably a section on actor's life. Stephen King, of course, he was a writer, so I guess we call it writer's life with Cole Spivey. But we also have actor's life. But I may put writer's life in there. This one's called Song of Susanna. And we're gonna look at the very beginning. First, let's just do a kind of a lowdown on Stephen King. And we have also by Stephen King, Carrie, which Carrie is one of his first novels. Actually, some say it is his first successful novel. Salem's Lot's considered a masterpiece. And The Shining's great too. I'll show you the ones I've read. All right, so we're just gonna look at bibliography this time around. I'm just gonna show you the stories that I've read. I have read the Bachman series. So I've read Rage, The Long Walk, Roadwork, and The Running Man. I don't know why they never turned Roadwork into anything. I didn't read Thinner, and I did not read The Regulators. Out of all these, I peeked at the first part of The Shining. So I've read the sample of The Shining. I have read all of The Stand, but I read the unabridged version. It took me 6 years. All of these I kind of peeked at when I was in Maine. I did a lot of sample reading. But on this little section here, I only read The Stand. I have not read The Gunslinger or Christina. I've peeked at Pet Sematary. I have read big sections of Cycle of the Werewolf when I was working on my werewolf movie called The Grace, or it's called Grace. It's a screenplay. I've heard a lot about The Talisman, but I haven't read it. I only read the beginning part of it. I don't know if you can see all those, but I haven't read The Eyes of Drake. Misery's my favorite so far. I have read a big chunk of the Tommyknockers, and it was too detailed. Supposedly he was on cocaine when he read the Tommyknockers. Haven't read the Dark Tower too. I did have the drawing of the three in high school, and I only peeked at it. The Dark Tower 3, The Wastelands, all this stuff. I have read the Dark Half. So I read the Dark Half. Needful Things, I've only peeked at it, beginning part of it. Gerald's Game, my sister read that one and liked it. Haven't read Dolores Claiborne or Insomnia. I've heard Insomnia is good. I haven't read Rose Madder or Desperation. And I haven't read The Green Mile, but I've worked with Frank Darabont, who directed The Green Mile and The Majestic. He also directed Shawshank Redemption. Haven't read The Dark Tower, Wizard and Glass. I have read Bag of Bones. I read it eating sugar-free candy. I didn't understand any of it. The Girl Who Loved, Tom Gordon. I have not read it. Dreamcatcher, no. Black House, no. Buick 8, I've only picked it up for a moment. I have read section from Buick 8. Dark Tower, Wolves. Night Shift, read all of it, loved it. Different Seasons, read all of it, loved it. I think it's one of the best.
Skeleton Crew, read a lot of it, loved it. Four Past Midnight, I had Four Past Midnight in high school, but I didn't read it all. Nightmare on Dreamscape, Hearts and Atlantis, Everything's Eventual, no. Creep Show, no. Cat's Eye, seen the movie, loved it. Silver Bullet, saw the movie and loved it. Maximum Overdrive, that's the one that Stephen King directed, loved it. Pet Sematary, I like the original only, the one with Eddie Munster. Golden Years, Sleepwalkers, The Stand, loved it. The Shining, one of the all-time best movies. Stanley Kubrick, made my honorable mention. Rose Red, pretty interesting. Storm of the Century, saw the television thing, liked it. Nonfiction, only on writing, loved it. Didn't read the macabre thing. So, love this guy. Let's look at the first line. Here we go. For this right here. Song of Susanna. How long will the magic stay? At first, no one answered Roland's question, and so he asked it again, this time looking across the living room of the rectory to where Hinchik of the Manny sat with Canteb, who had married one of Hinchik's numerous granddaughters. The two men were holding hands, as was the Manny way. The older man had lost a granddaughter that day, but if he grieved, emotion did not show on his stony, composed face. I got to pick up some Mexican food at Mi Cocina. We'll have to read this later. Whoops. Gotta pick up the Mi Cocina. Door open. Second door open. We're on Star Trek. You bet. I gotta be honest. I was watching one of these war films called Lone Survivor. Mark Wahlberg. Good movie. You know, I really didn't think Mark Wahlberg could act at that level, but he's actually good. Mark Wahlberg's a good actor. I went back and watched some of his early stuff too, like Fear and some other movies. He's actually really good. And then I was watching The Mule with Clint Eastwood, Bradley Cooper. Great performance. Watch The Mule. He's actually good. He also is good in a place called A Place Beyond the Pines, the movie he did with Ryan Gosling. Very good. They're good actors. They are good. Remember, this is the actor's life session too. We go to the writer's life sometime, but also actor's life. Those guys are good. Those guys work hard, especially Wahlberg. He's like a model. He's on GQ, or he's on Men's Health. He's got big guns. He knows how to get the muscle out there. Here's my right one right here. My one's a little bit bigger, but he knows how to work out. He's very intelligent when it comes to the body, and also he's an ideal actor. I got to admit, he's like the new Marlon Brando. He really has got a lot of talent, and I got to say that stuff before I go out there, because I know I talk some shit. But you can always be redeemed. Even the Catholic believe that. Even the Protestant. You can always be redeemed. Right, we're going to try to shorten it down to a 30-minute vlog. So we're going to show the restaurant and the drop-offs. That's it.